in the, what is it, almost 12-year history of me doing this program in one way, shape, or form on a Monday, only one man, and it hasn't even been confirmed, but I'm pretty sure DC was on 3 straight weeks. That's it. We've had a bunch of, 2 straight weeks, guy before a fight, guy after a fight, that sort of thing. But only one man has come on 3 straight weeks. And I'm not even 100% sure. And so I can say very confidently right now that our next guest is either tying a record or making his own kind of history, because I really don't think that, other than that one time 3 or 4 years ago, DC, no one has ever done this. And so 2 weeks ago, we had Dan Hooker on from New Zealand to talk about the long journey to get to Las Vegas. Last Monday, we had him on to talk about the inspiring win over Nasrat Haqparast, and we thought on Saturday he'd be going home and he'd take the rest of the year off. And then on Thursday, we find out he's fighting Islam Makhachev in about 4 weeks' time in Abu Dhabi, and he's pretty much vaulted up the people's rankings as the most beloved fighter in the sport right now, because everyone thinks he's got balls of steel and no one would dare do something like this, not only on 4 weeks' notice, not only foregoing his voucher to go back home, but also to fight one of the hottest and toughest guys at 155 pounds, Islam Makhachev, mini Khabib. Much respect. Let's make some history. Say hello once again to the Hangman. It feels like we're co-hosts at this point. Every Monday at around this time, we're talking, Dan. This is a beautiful thing.
I know now I'm going to have to do something pretty wild before next show, get arrested, or I saw Kevin Holland, I got to stop a robbery or something like that to get on the show next week.
This is amazing. Well, thank you again for the time. I feel like I'm bothering you at this point every Monday at around this time, but it's been very nice to follow this journey with you over the last few weeks. And I know you've done some interviews. And the only bummer about all of this, Dan, I was like, it was Thursday. You talked to some people. Much respect to them. I was like, I'd like to get that first one. But it's all good. For those that may have missed it, could you tell us how this happened? Because I did see you talk to Oscar Willis of the Mac Life, who does a great job. You're doing Drunken Uno. It's a great video. Everyone should check it out. And you're talking about not taking this fight. And then a few hours later, poor Oscar, the video gets posted and you take the fight. Kudos to you. You gave him another interview, which was a great thing. But how did this all go down?
Yeah, that's why I felt bad. I had to give Oscar the first dibs because we did it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Wednesday night did an interview with Oscar, and he was asking me about the fight, and I said, I think I'm just going to go, I'm leaving Saturday. I'm going to go back to New Zealand. I'll just fight him on like Israel's card or something. Thursday morning, I went and got my COVID test to leave. So I just walked next door to the UFC host hotel, went and did my COVID test, came back, saw that I'd missed a couple of calls from the UFC, and I rang them back, and they asked me if I wanted to fight Islam Makhachev, and I said yeah. I said, why not? What
do you mean why not? That's it? You didn't call your wife? You didn't talk to your team? You literally said yes on the spot?
Yeah, it was like it was like a couple of sentence conversation. He just said, you want to fight Islam in 4 weeks? And I said, yeah, why not?
But it's not...
I don't want to go sit in a hotel room. I was thinking, I feel like I was just looking for a way out of sitting in quarantine, and I happily found one.
So, and for those that don't know, you were supposed to leave on Saturday, and then upon landing in New Zealand, that long trip back home, you have to do 2 weeks in the hotel. We talked about this. So you're basically trying to avoid doing that, delay the inevitable, right? You didn't feel like doing it right now.
Yeah, the UFC was cool, man. They did, they're really helping me out. Like, they're going to give me a place to stay while I'm stuck out in New Zealand. Got me a car, and they're going to fly my family over to be with me. So, like, that's it was pretty hard to turn down. They answered all the questions I had for the situation. The main one being, my girls, my wife and daughter, being away from them. That's like the main thing to me. So them offering to fly them over and getting us all a place to stay as a family is pretty incredible. And like just the way it's going, we're gonna have 5 of my teammates stuck over here before the end of the year. Another one of my coaches and fighters stuck in Dubai. And then on Israel's card, there'll probably be another 3 or 4, 5, 6 guys stuck. So by January, February, there could be like over a dozen people from City Kickboxing stateside.
When you called your wife to tell her that you were going to take this fight and not fly home, what was her reaction?
Oh, she knows me. It's not. I don't think it was that much of a shock Yeah, it wasn't like much of a shock to her.
How did
I
you
just called
say
her
it?
up and I just said, I took the Islam fight. And she just was like, yeah, all right. And I was just like, oh, I'll fly. Like the UFC's going to fly you guys over. Yeah, they'll fly you guys over whenever you're ready to go.
That is unbelievable. So right now, I mean, you had to give up, is there a penalty to give up that return home, that voucher that you had, the October 2nd? Do you get penalized for from the New Zealand government?
You just lose it. So you can't it's not like you can just push it back a
Right.
couple of weeks or push it back a month or anything like that. So it's just if you cancel your spot, which I canceled the spot, it's just, yeah, you lose that spot and you go back into the lottery. Like there's draws, like we say we're stuck out indefinitely. There's like lottery draws, like every couple of months. Like there's one today.
Oh.
There's one today in a few hours. I think it's like 4 p.m. here. There's like a lottery draw today, but it's like a couple thousand spots. There's like 3,000 spots, and there's like almost 40,000 people
Jeez.
apply for the spots. So it's like, and then even if you get those spots, probably only like a third of them will work for my dates. So it's like a pretty small chance. It's like a one in 200 shot at getting another spot home.
So is there a chance in your mind, have you prepared yourself that you won't go home for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2021?
Oh yeah, that's you like missed the one today. That's this year. That's
it?
Year, done.
That's the last one?
Yeah. It's like the last one for this year. Like you missed so yeah. I'll be able to tell you by this afternoon if my 1 in 200 shot fails. Yeah, I'll be here. But mentally, I've prepared. Just to get my family over here and to make the most of it. Like things are pretty shut down in New Zealand. Like the COVID situation is getting like a little bit. They've pretty much gone away from as of yesterday, gone away from like the elimination strategy. Like that's gone now. They've attempt to eliminate COVID in New Zealand is pretty much gone. So they'll be the last place to open in the world. So things are still moving pretty slow over there.
And so when you say that the UFC is going to bring your wife and daughter over, like where's going to be home base for you guys?
I think Vegas, just because it's so central.
Okay.
And everything. Yeah, I got some like good people out there. My wife's got her aunt and cousins are in New York, so we might just move around and make the most of the situation.
We're in New York, Dan. The next time you come,
I'll come. Of course,
that would be amazing. Yes, that would be amazing. What a story that would be. And so, will you see your wife and daughter before the Islam fight or after the fight?
I think after. So I'll train here for the next 3 weeks. And then I'll fly over to the UAE, get the fight done, fly back, and then meet them here. That's how it's going in my head.
Okay. And where are you going to train now for the fight?
So one of my wrestling coaches is coaching at Syndicate, Frank Hickman. He's teaching the wrestling there, and just working with me. So it's lucky that he was here out in Las Vegas. So I've got 2 wrestling coaches, Andre Paulette back in New Zealand, and then Frank Hickman will come and train, and I've trained with him for a few years now. So I'm working with him pretty much every day, and then just using making the most of the facilities at the PI, like free food, free physio, strength and conditioning. Like the UFC's looking after me pretty well.
Well, so you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the PI?
Of course, of course.
How's the food?
I said, well, I like everything. Oh, the food's good. Food's good. The boys are looking after me. Like I said to the UFC, I was like, man, I don't have. I was only coming because I flew over Thursday.
Yeah.
So I was like Friday. I was only supposed to be here for a couple of days, so I didn't pack any gear to train because I didn't think what am I going to do? Like one session before the fight. So I brought a pair of gloves. I just told the UFC, and they give me bags of everything. They gave me all gear, training gear, equipment, everything I need to get ready for the fight.
What about clothes?
Yeah, they gave me clothes. They gave me, man, I've got UFC brands coming out of my ears.
Well, what if you want to not wear UFC brand? Like, what are they giving you money to go like on a little shop? No?
Beggars can't be
Okay.
true. I'm the easiest. And they got me, they rented me a car to use while I'm here in Las Vegas. And I sent my family a picture of the car. It's like a nice car. It's like a Chevy Impala, like a nice clean car, but it's like nothing flash. Like the boys here, like Frank was like, oh, I thought they're going to get you a nice car. I showed my family back home the picture of my car, and they were like, don't you tell the UFC you drive a piece of shit in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Like, what are you? I was like, why'd they get you such a nice car? They could have saved money and got you the most piece of shit car, and you would have been happy. I was like, nah, I'm happy with this.
By the way, in New Zealand, you drive on the other side, right?
Yeah, you're on the left. I'm adjusting.
Okay, yeah. How's that going?
It's pretty easy. You're just like, I'll just wait, like pull out, wait till I see a car and be like, oh, it's that side.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll follow that guy. Yeah.
Jeez Louise. That could be, I mean, yeah, you really have to, with us, I think it's natural when you go left and this and that, you really have to talk to yourself. Okay, so, but then I'm curious, all this is a great story in terms of, oh, you're going to stick around and the travel and all that. But this isn't just, you're not fighting some guy. You're fighting Islam Makhachev. Like, you're fighting the guy no one wants to fight. That didn't give you any kind of pause?
Nah. That's not, you're either the best or you're not the best. There's no excuses. I'm not going into this fight with any preloaded excuse. Regardless of the result of this fight, you'll never hear an excuse coming out of my mouth. It's not like I didn't take the fight for the sake of taking the fight. I take the fight because I believe I'm going to win. That's why I'm taking the fight. So it's not a case of, oh man, you're doing this, jumping in. I'm not going with a preloaded excuse. Either, I either beat him or I don't beat him. There's not, he's either the better man or he's not the better man. Regardless of the preparation, it comes down to that night.
Are you impressed by him?
He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good, but I'm good too. It's, I feel like this is going to be a great fight.
Do you feel like he hasn't fought anyone quite as good as you thus far?
No, he has beaten some pretty good guys. Like I've trained with Drew Dober, and he did very well against Drew. His last fight, yeah, he did well. Like that was like his first main event, first time in deep water in the later rounds, and yeah, he's definitely impressive.
What about going back to Abu Dhabi, considering what happened earlier this year in Abu Dhabi? How do you feel about that?
Oh, spilt milk. I don't, yeah, I got a bit, my skin's a little thicker than that. It's not,
God, I wish I could be like you. I would be rattled by this whole situation, not seeing my kid, going back to the bad vibes. Like you were just impervious to all of it.
The bad vibes? There's bad vibes in the wall and I'm going to lose the fight?
I don't know. I'm crazy like that. So you block it all out. None of it affects you.
It's not blocking it out. It's just not relevant. What happened in January is completely irrelevant to the situation, regardless of. It wasn't the location that caused the outcome of the fight. It was it was me.
When they called you initially, was that call you just told me about? Was that the first time, or was their initial call? Like, did they call you initially and you're like, and then did they call you back to take this fight? Like, how many phone calls did it take for you to take the fight? Was it just that one call, or was there a bit of back and forth?
Oh no, it was like straight after the fight. The UFC told me, they're just like, oh, RDA is injured. Like Islam's looking for an opponent. Like it was like those ones. It wasn't like they offered it. It was just sort of like, yeah, it was just like that. And then and then I went out with Volk, celebrated that night. Then we went to the Raiders game, Raiders Dolphins. That was incredible. Down on the field in a box, had like a great day then. And then I didn't really check my phone again. Went out to dinner, and then it was come till Thursday. I kind of just like left my phone and wasn't like responding. So I think that was like, they might have thought that I was like that was like my negotiating tactic, but it really wasn't. I just hadn't checked my phone yet. So then when they finally got a hold of me, they were like, Dan, you're still alive? I was like, barely, but I'm almost there. And then they offered the fight, and I was like, yeah, why didn't you call me a couple of days ago?
Oh my gosh. That is unbelievable. Without getting too I mean, like, are they taking care of you? I mean, they've got to be upping the ante here, right?
Yeah, like they've done, they've done everything they needed to do. It's not and take the fight for the money. If
It
people
helps.
that know me know, yeah, but people that know me know that money is not that relevant to me. I've been a poor man and I've been a rich man, and I'm indifferent to both of them.
Wow. And so for you, you're going to have this coach. I'm assuming Frank is going to fly to Abu Dhabi with you, correct?
Yep, Frank's there, and then there's also another one of my coaches, Doug Viney. He's going over with Hemi Ohio, and they're fighting in I believe like a heavyweight boxing title. There's like a boxing show over there on the 16th, and then so he'll be there. Doug Viney is one of my striking coaches, so he'll be able to meet me on Fight Island.
And what
if he doesn't win the lottery, he might win the lottery.
Oh my God.
You don't know.
And then he'll go home.
Yeah, if he wins the lottery, I wouldn't blame him. I'll go home too.
Sure. And what about Eugene? Obviously not, right?
Nah, you can't ask him to get locked out of the country indefinitely. I wouldn't even ask.
And by the way, that lottery, like, what's the date? Even if you win the lottery, would the date be after the 30th so that you can go back home?
So it's they're releasing like 2,000 or 3,000 spots for October, November, December. So obviously, like, there's only. And then they only fly back from LA on Sundays and Thursdays. So like your chances of getting in and then getting a spot are like very slim. It's like winning the lottery to get like the perfect fit.
Yeah, knowing how they're treating you guys, they'll probably give it to you like on the one in October that you can't even fly back on, just to screw with you mentally.
Probably. They don't like us very much.
Well, right now, I mean, Izzy is just like relentless on his Instagram with everything. I give him a lot of props.
He's been locked inside for 2 months. 2 months he's been in his house. Like, you can't. Poor guy. He's going crazy.
Yes. But like, he's going after them, and rightfully so. He's being very vocal. Has there been a lot of drama? Are you guys feeling it as well? I would imagine there are people who are saying, "How dare you? You're going out. We're all in this together." Blah blah blah. What's it been like for you?
Like a little different from me because I'm not like over there in New Zealand, kind of experiencing it. I'm not trying to like have a go at New Zealand or paint New Zealand in a bad light at all. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. I'm just merely explaining my situation and letting people. Like, people saying, "Oh, you're saying negative things." It's like, I'm not saying negative things. I'm just explaining my situation. And if you're taking it negatively, well, then it must be a negative situation that they're putting me under. Yeah, it's difficult, man. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I definitely feel like what Israel is doing by being pretty vocal about it and bringing light to the situation has like allowed a lot of other sportsmen in New Zealand to kind of step up and just be like, yeah, like, we're kind of stranded too, and we're getting stuck out too. So there's like golfers and race car drivers and all sorts of people getting stuck overseas from New Zealand.
And so anything change? I know I sort of asked you about this last week, but you guys have talked about, moving the team to America. Eugene told me just some cities have been bandied about. San Diego, I think, Florida, Las Vegas, Texas. But is there anything new in terms of like when you'll actually try to move and where that place will be?
I definitely feel like it'll be, well, like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm stuck over here. Like, that's me done. So the quicker they get here, the better. But yeah, it'll definitely be, I would say, before Israel's next fight. Like, everything would kind of be set up, because the way it is in New Zealand, like, the main city where we all live and train, where City Kickboxing is still locked down. Like we're still under lockdown, and the gyms aren't opening, and they don't look like they're going to be open for another couple of months, at least until New Zealand hits like a 90% vaccination thing. So they can't even train for that fight until they get out of the country. So I feel like they're going to, once you see Israel and Eugene and all that leaving the country, then that'll be a surefire sign that fight camp is underway.
Do you feel like putting pressure on them might, make the government change their mind and help you guys out? Or do you feel like that ship has sailed?
I feel like New Zealand's got bigger fish to fry. I feel like we got the main city in the country under lockdown for the last 2 months, and at least what is looking like now is another couple of months with the main city in lockdown. So yeah, it's hard to make people try and feel sympathetic to your situation when they've been stuck in their house. Like I feel like New Zealand needs to sort that whole problem out, and there's no point even coming back. If I come back, I can't train, and that's what I have to do to earn a living. So it's I feel like I'm better off over here.
By the way, last week you said I'm just a guy on the team. I'm just a fighter. They tell me where to go and I go. You're the captain of the team, Dan. You have a say in this matter, right?
Just another body on the mat.
Come on,
another body on the mat.
No, I saw the guys call you. Kai Car-France was like, "That's the captain, leading the way. Everyone's big upping you. You're the captain. You're the guy who's showing them how to get this done."
Not the captain. I'm just mean to everyone. If being the meanest person on the team makes you the captain.
I'm sure Eugene is asking your opinion on all this.
No, it's over my pay grade. It's over my pay grade.
So what is the captain? What is the captain?
Yeah, well, I'm stuck. Just bully everyone. That's the only role I can possibly think of.
All right. How do you beat Islam Makhachev? Like, what's the key to beating this guy who's looked pretty damn good?
By being better than him.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Some knees would work, I think, in the clinch. Knees to the sternum. You don't need advice.
Yeah, like
me.
the knees is something that I don't really have to think about too much. Like they got a mind of their own, and they find the target now and then.
Isn't this is the Chael Sonnen school of getting fans? And I know you're not doing it for this reason, but there's nothing that makes fans fall in love with fighters more than these situations. Short notice, dealing with a whole bunch of drama, just fought, fighting the toughest guy. No one wants to fight him. You raise your hand. I mean, I'm sure you're feeling it, right? Like you've never been more popular and more loved than this moment right now.
Yes and no. Like I appreciate it. I appreciate what everyone's going to do, but like what everyone's doing and getting behind me. But I know full well that that's not going to help me win the fight. Like sure. I am for the next 4 weeks like locked in on doing everything I possibly can do to win this fight, because I know it's all for naught. I'm not going there to punch a ticket. I'm not going there to fight for the sake of fighting. I've taken this fight because I'm coming to win. I'm going to win the fight.
Right.
Or all of this, in my opinion, is for nothing if I don't get the fight. If I don't come out with my hand raised.
You're not a moral victory kind of guy. Oh, just the fact that you showed up. Because that's what people are saying. Oh, just the fact that you showed up, you're taking this fight, no one else wants to fight, the family. That's not you. That won't suffice.
That doesn't fly. It's coming to win. It's all or nothing.
Are we moving out of the hotel? Are we going to get a house there? What's going on?
Yeah, no, they're finding me a house as we speak.
Unbelievable what you've been going through, man. Will you do it again with a smile? And I guess I'll say next week around this time, I'll talk to you, Dan. Something crazy.
I got to do something now. I'll be like walking the streets, like waiting for people to rob someone so I can tackle them or something. I have a cool story next week.
Well, it seems like you're having a great time. You're going to Raiders games. You're out with the champ. I saw you with this comedian, Andrew Schultz, who admittedly, I don't know a lot about him, but I see he's calling himself the greatest MMA journalist of all time. Clearly, he's never heard of Ariel Helwani because I would bury that man where he stands.
Clearly.
I mean, unbelievable that he has the balls. He's out there at the Apex. Who is this jabron, Andrew Schultz, that keeps talking about being the greatest MMA journalist? And I see you dancing with him and everything. I'm a little jealous, if I'm being honest. Who is this man?
No, I went to his show here in Las Vegas. He's a friend. He's a friend of Israel, so he's a good friend of Israel's, and Israel's like been on his podcast and things like that. So Israel set me up with some tickets to the show, and I just went along to the show. Hilarious, like it was a pretty incredible show. And then at the end, he like dragged someone out. He's like got everyone out on stage, and then he pulled someone out of the crowd. And he's like, "We're gonna sing a song," and then he's just like, "We got another special guest. Dan Hooker's in the house," and then he drags me on stage too, and he's like, "We're gonna sing a song," and then Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time." The music of that music starts coming on, so we all just sing Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time." Well, funny enough, I know the words, so I was able to get.
You guys were jumping around.
I was able to get amongst it. Yeah, it was incredible. I got the video there somewhere. I'll probably keep that on my phone.
And you're sitting in the front row at the Apex. I'm assuming you'll be there this week as well. Like, I mean, you're living the Vegas dream over there.
Yeah. Why not? There was a couple of Anzacs fighting, Jamie Malaki and Casey O'Neill, both coming out with stoppage victories in the second round. So had to get down and support the Anzacs. They were very impressive.
What a story.
Are there any Anzacs on the card next week?
You know what? I got it right in front of me.
I might skip it. Nah.
You might skip it? What else do you have to do on a Saturday?
I'll be there. I'm lying. I got nothing else.
Hey, you should go to we got Tyson Fury up next. You should go to that fight. You should see if that's happening in Vegas.
I will. Joseph Parker's coming over. I think Parker is coming over for that fight. You sent me a message and hopefully catch up with Joe when he's just in town for a couple of days. Hopefully catch up with him, and I think he might be coming over for that fight.
Okay. Well, keep doing your thing, Dan. Much respect to you, and good luck in the next few weeks as you prepare for this incredible opportunity. It's one of the coolest stories that we've ever come across covering this sport, what you're doing right now. Not just the fight, the short notice, but everything with your family. Yes?
I'll see you next week.
I'll talk to you next week, Dan. All right. Take care. Thank you, Dan. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye. There he is.